Fox News, on the other hand, is doing their damnedest. Even their straight news people like John Roberts are twisting themselves into pretzels, trying to spin a narrative that it's a positive thing, it's a good thing. How wonderful that JD Vance was booed many, many times while on stage in Boston at the International Association of Firefighters conference for 2024. The same conference, the same stage at which the day before Tim Walz was greeted with hugs and uproarious applause. But to Fox News, they need to spin the narrative to their audience that it's a positive thing. And by the way, this isn't Jesse Waters. This isn't another one of the goofs who are the opinion side, the Sean Hannitys. This is the news side, the straight news side, John Roberts. Watch this, and then I'm going to talk a little bit about this Kaylee McGee White. It's a hell of a name, Kaylee. We're going to talk about her a little bit and some of the nonsense she says. But first, John Roberts.
You do not get to walk into the White House and do whatever you want. You are accountable to the American voters. And Democrats have made sure that she will not be if she's elected in November.
I just want to go to something else here, because Kamala Harris, so far since she got the nomination, is always on friendly territory. Going into CNN is the biggest chance that she's taken. But take a look at the chance that JD Vance took just a little while earlier today at the International Association of Firefighters Convention in Boston. Listen here.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. Well, Semper Fi, guys. We got some, sounds like we got some fans and some haters. That's okay. Let's listen to what I have to say here, and I'll make my pitch.
He went into a place where half the audience booed him, and he said, okay, got some haters here, got some fans. Let me make the pitch. Would Kamala Harris ever put herself in that situation?
She has. And quite frankly,
during this campaign,
quite frankly, they
became the nominee.
She's only been the nominee for 5 weeks. So we have.
Well, he's only been the nominee for how long?
Well, we have some time. She's introducing herself to the American people. And they booed J.D. Vance because they do not agree with him on policy. Why? Because policy has been a part of the conversation.
Policy.
They know Kamala Harris's. That's why they have embraced her to this point. You don't get the energy and the response you get from the American people without having a sense of what their policy positions are.
If the leftist media has run an entire hype campaign to disguise the fact that she has no policy.
It's always the leftist media when Democrats are doing well.
You also get it if the Democrats are saying, thank God it's not Joe Biden.
Well,
now who?
Well, why is she getting so much Republican support?
She's not getting Republican support.
I just laid it out for you.
Which Republicans are on record saying
I just laid 70,000 were on a Zoom call just last week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, we got to leave it there. Great to see you in the studio.
So good to be with you.
Spirited conversation. I love it.
Oh, how brave a man. Songs will be sung in the future to honor J.D. Vance and his heroism facing down this audience of firefighters who booed him. And then to juxtapose it against Kamala Harris not going there. He went into a place where half the audience booed him. Would Kamala Harris ever put herself in that situation? Would she? Come on, man. Brave J.D. Vance. But let's address the comments by Kaylee McGee White to the other commentator there on the dais, behind the desk. When he's saying that there's all kinds of Republicans who are supporting the candidacy of Kamala Harris, there's many Republicans who are on this campaign working diligently to get Kamala Harris and Tim Walz elected. And she pushes back. Who? Name them. There's no Republicans supporting them. Well, one, I was just in Chicago at the Democratic National Convention. Republicans on the brain here. And I can tell you firsthand, and you probably watched much of the proceedings, lots of Republicans were slated to speak. Now, in the moment, it didn't sit really well with me, but I get it. I understand the strategy. They're reaching out to a portion of the electorate who may be swayable, who may be a part of an evaporatable portion of Republican voter, whether undecided or independent, or just Republicans who are fed up with Donald Trump's nonsense and disrespect and unhinged nature. You had Jeff Duncan, the former lieutenant governor of Georgia. You had several others, many others. In fact, even in between speakers, they would play videos on all of the monitors inside the room, inside the United Center, where Republicans, like, I voted for Trump 3 times and I'm not doing it again. Kamala Harris for president. Many. But that's not it. We know that Donald Trump's Secretary of Defense, Donald Trump's National Security Advisor, Donald Trump's Chief of Staff, Donald Trump's Vice President have all expressed in one way or another that Donald Trump does not need to be near power ever again, that he needs to be nowhere near the White House. And that's not even it. For Kaylee McGee White, the Harris-Walz campaign just released a press release about 200 former Republicans from Bush administrations, from the Romney campaign, from the McCain campaign. 200. This is a one-page letter that is followed by 18 pages of names of high-ranking, influential Republicans who are signing on, endorsing Kamala Harris and Tim Walz in 2024. The momentum behind this campaign is a runaway train. There's nothing that Republicans can do to squelch or diminish the enthusiasm or the energy. This is a little bit from the press release. More than 200 Bush, McCain, and Romney alumni endorse Vice President Harris for president. That was a little awkward. And like I said, it says 4 years ago, President George W. Bush, the late Senator John McCain, and then Governor Mitt Romney alumni came together to warn fellow Republicans that re-electing President Trump would be a disaster for our nation. In those declarations, we stated the plain truth, each predicting that another 4 years of a Trump presidency would irreparably damage our beloved democracy. And then they finish it with this. We're heartfully calling on these friends, colleagues, neighbors, and family members to take a brave stance once more to vote for leaders that will strive for consensus, not chaos, that will work to unite, not divide, that will make our country and our children proud. Those leaders are Vice President Kamala Harris and Governor Tim Walz. I'd love to know what you think about this. You can comment below. That would be absolutely fantastic. If you're interested in following or subscribing to my channel, I'm right here on YouTube. Just search my stupid name, and I'll see you next time.